Hello, everybody. Welcome to this new webinar about Friend of the Sea certification and conservation and update. I also have some handouts that are available in the handouts area. Some of them are in link form. And then we will have some polls that I will share with you at the end of my presentation. So the next webinar is going to be on the 13th of May 2025 at 4 p.m. And it's going to be about omega-3, collagen, sustainable nutraceuticals, health innovation, and environmental responsibility. So our story started over 30 years ago when I began working with and for the Earth Island Institute, an NGO based in California, in Berkeley, founded by David Brower, considered to be one of the most influential environmentalists of the past century in the US. And among the various projects that the Earth Island had developed was also the Dolphin Safe Tuna project, which basically was started because in the Eastern tropical Pacific, between Baja California and Peru, about 7 million dolphins had been killed in 30 years by the tuna industry, which was using them to spot dolphins, to spot big yellowfin tuna that was quite frequently found under the dolphins, about 15% of the time. And this way, the porcines were capturing also the dolphins, which suffocated and died in the entangled in the nets. And the Dolphin Safe project basically proposes a certification of tuna and possibly other species that are caught without harming dolphins, without setting nets on dolphins. And by this way, and involving the whole tuna industry worldwide, the Earth Island managed to contribute to the dramatic lowering in mortality in the critical area of the Eastern tropical Pacific by over 98%. And so at that point, I realized, and as a director of international programs of the Dolphin Safe project of the Earth Island, that certifications could be a very important tool to achieve tangible conservation results. And so I launched in 2008 through the World Sustainability Organization, the Friend of the Sea project, which expanded to tackle all the potential impacts of fisheries and aquaculture on the marine ecosystem, and then expanded, as we will see, in other certifications of products which respect the marine habitat. 10 years later, we launched the Friend of the Earth, which certifies products on sustainable agriculture and farming. And in 2022, we opened our foundation, the World Sustainability Foundation, that as I will describe, is supporting conservation projects worldwide. A couple of years ago, we opened our first concept store, Sustainable Friends, right in the center of Milan, in the highest footfall street in Italy, to raise awareness on all these issues of production on the environment, and to also propose some of the certified products. So basically, we are two entities, WSO, which mostly focuses its activity in the management of the certifications, Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth, while WSF, which is a foundation which is focused on supporting conservation projects worldwide and raising awareness. So currently there's over 1,500 companies around the world which have Friend of the Sea or Friend of the Earth certified products. Some of them you see here in this image, from over 90 countries, quite widespread through all the continents. And these are some of the retail chains which have on their own private label products the Friend of the Sea or the Friend of the Earth logo as their products are certified. This could be seafood products as well as nutraceuticals such as omega-3, collagen, or even cosmetics, as it's the case with Lidl, which has Friend of the Sea certified UV cream, which does not impact the coral reef. Of course, over the years, we've done our best through our marketing team to be more and more visible on the media, and we've been mentioned on Time, as well as BBC, CNBC, Euronews, Globo, Forbes, etc., etc., and have reached an estimated 200 million readers worldwide. Of course, we do our best also to use the digital world and the social media to raise awareness and to be more and more visible. This is an image of our first concept store in the center of Milan. Sustainable Friends. You're welcome to come and visit us. As you can see on the top floor, we carry out interviews to professionals in the seafood arena and in sustainability and conservation to raise awareness. And in the lower part, we propose some of the certified products. We have organized other and implemented other initiatives to raise awareness about the certified products. And this, for example, is a fidelity card, which allows consumers worldwide to collect the points and earn prizes every time they buy Friend of the Sea or Friend of the Earth certified products. We also raise awareness through restaurants. You can find on our free of charge app list of sustainable restaurants which have on their menu at least one Friend of the Sea or Friend of the Earth certified product, and you can find those that are nearby through a geolocator. There's over 500 restaurants in more than 12 countries which have Friend of the Sea or Friend of the Earth certified products on their menu, and they are included in this app. In terms of the foundation, it was created by WSO, and these are some of the conservation projects worldwide in the different countries. And as you can see, we are well spread through the various continents and in many, I think over 40 countries currently. And the conservation projects, as you can see, some of them are focused on protecting endangered aquatic habitats and species, other for land species. Consequently, we have a network of good relations and partnership with several NGOs and other institutions worldwide because of our widespread conservation activity. So WSO and WSF are the only platform, let's say, that can provide two consumer-friendly sustainability logos and labels. Finally, not acronyms, as most certifications out there, which can basically cover with their sustainability certification the whole range of food products as well as non-food products and services worldwide, based on a solid over 30 years experience as described, and completely independent from the industry and the companies that we certify. Unfortunately, many certifications out there have been created by the companies they certify themselves, and verified as a real third-party certification, as I will explain, as we are for Friend of the Sea currently, and about to become for Friend of the Earth, a verified and accredited certification. So because of this widespread activity of WSO and WSF, we basically cover with our activities several SDGs out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and they are here described. More specifically about Friend of the Sea, which is the subject of today's webinar, it is the only certification out there which can with the same seal of approval, potentially certify both origins of seafood, those coming from fisheries as well as those coming from aquaculture. It is the only certification out there which can do that. All the others have been focused, like for example, MSC, the Marine Stewardship Council, on certifying only products from fisheries, while ASC, BAP, Global Gap are mainly focused on certifying products from aquaculture. We believed from the start that the certification had to be covering with the same seal of approval both potential origins, because those two are strongly related by the food, by the feed factor. The aqua feed mostly comes from small pelagics and from some of the biggest fisheries worldwide, such as the anchoveta fishery in Peru. And also because we believe that consumers have the right to one logo only for interpreting whether seafood is produced in a sustainable way. They don't really have time to understand the differences between aquaculture and fisheries, but they want to be informed about this. So in terms of the requirements, as far as fisheries are concerned, the product, in order to be certified friend of the sea, must originate from a fish stock that is not overexploited. If the level of biomass is overexploited compared to the maximum sustainable yield, there must be fishing management in place aiming at reaching a sustainable level and be respected by the fleet that operate in that fishery. So there must be compliance with FLIM for those more technical. And in terms of the selectivity of the fishing gear, it must be selective, obviously, and it cannot lead to frequent bycatches of endangered species considered as vulnerable or worse on the IUCN red list. The fishing method cannot impact in an unsustainable way the seabed. If there is a potential impact, there must be evidence in place from a third-party assessment that the impact is sustainable over time. In terms of compliance with the regulations, the fleet must be compliant with the total allowable catches in place. There must be no IUU vessel on board the fleet, and no flag of convenience, and so on. Minimum size, mesh size, etc. We also have included from the start, and we have been the only certification out there which always has included that social accountability requirements in our Friend of the Sea standard. We also have requirements related to appropriate waste management, in particular in relation to ghost fishing. We have requirements also relating to FADs, to TEDs, to circle hooks, and similar methods which must be implemented if there is a risk of bycatch of albatrosses, turtles, and so on. And we have requirements also related to fuel efficiency. I won't go into much detail in terms of the requirements for aquaculture. They are similar to those of other certifications, and they verify that there's no impact, unsustainable impact on critical habitats where the aquaculture site has been developed. There must be measures in place to reduce to a negligible level potential escapes and bycatch of predatory animals. There must be also compliance with water quality parameters, and we included also social accountability, waste management, fuel efficiency, and fish welfare in the requirements. As far as fish welfare, we have developed in collaboration with other universities and research groups requirements for 26 different species in aquaculture. As you can see on the left, those are the species for which we have fish welfare requirements in place. And these are very strict and detailed, and they are the outcome of a study that has been funded by Open Philanthropy, and that lasted for 3 years, and a lot of on-site also activity to develop these new standards. First, among all other certifications out there, we also developed standards for fish welfare in fisheries, and providing different requirements depending on the fishing method. So currently we represent this red part on the overall metric tons certified for their sustainability worldwide by the various certifications. And as you can see, we are a leader in this certification, and also at species-specific assessment. We have we're very present, for example, in the certification of tuna. Currently, this number has reached almost 20% of the total tuna production, and you can see the numbers also for the different species in terms of metric tons, and some of the and the long list of tuna companies which are involved in the Friend of the Sea project. These are just a few of the logos of the brands and companies that have obtained certification of their products. I remind that there are over 1,500 companies, so we couldn't put them all possibly in one slide. And these are examples of how the logo is then displayed on the products, whether they are seafood or nutraceutical products. It's very important to understand that Friend of the Sea differentiates from all other certifications out there, because it is the only one that has obtained the IAF, International Accreditation Forum, multilateral agreement recognition. And the IAF is the umbrella organization that coordinates the activity of the national accreditation bodies such as ANAB in the US, Accredia in Italy, UCAS in the UK, DAX in Germany, and so on. And these are the national accreditation bodies which verify the good work carried out by the certification bodies such as DNV, SGS, Control Union, RINA, and others, which have to be verified every year according to the Friend of the Sea procedure for accreditation certification, and accredited. So this recognition was obtained some 3 months ago by Friend of the Sea, and place it in this very short list of the best worldwide certification programs, which includes, of course, also ISO, BRC, IFS, Global Gap, very big in agriculture, CEDEX for social accountability. So we're really one of the 9 few certification programs, and this is very important for Friend of the Sea. We're very proud of this recognition, as well as for the companies which obtain the certification, because this means we are one of the 9 certifications worldwide which are real third-party certifications. All other are second party. And also the real independent benchmarks have confirmed the validity of our requirements and the strength of our requirements when compared to other certifications. And we have always scored as best performing, both for fisheries as well as for aquaculture. Over the years, and in particular after COVID, we have dedicated a lot of effort to improve the methodology to carry out the audits in a virtual way, in a remote way, by means of shared online checklist, and also video recording of the whole audit activity, and the use of blockchain. So this has demonstrated that online remote audit can be even more effective than the actual conventional audits because in the end, much more information is gathered in terms of visual information, which can be then shown later on in case of objection from a third party. This is normally not the case for a traditional conventional on-site audit. So a combination of these audits is probably also the best approach. Recently, we have innovated even further by developing avatar auditors, interactive avatar auditors. This is mine, but there are also others that can be used, which basically can carry out currently as a beta test the whole audit seamlessly, providing the power of artificial intelligence. So I invite you, if you are interested, to write to us, and we will provide you access to some of these interactive avatars to test the system. We believe this is the way to go in the future, even though currently we are using them only as a beta test. So after the audit, we, through our technical department, carry out continuous verification of the movement of the approved vessels. There's over 3,000 vessels approved, and we can monitor approximately 50% of them, those which have AIS, a system which allows us and anybody to monitor their movement. We use Global Fishing Watch, which is a very powerful open source, open system, which can be accessed at no cost currently. And we verify in this way compliance of the fishing vessels over the months and the years with a set of requirements. For example, no fishing in marine protected areas, no unauthorized transshipment at sea, no fishing outside the fishing season, and also some aspects of social accountability. For example, how long the crew is kept at sea without returning home. We verify also the use or not use of AIS, which can mean also potentially infringement of some of the laws. So to those companies which have been proved and confirmed to be compliant with these requirements, we provide at the end of the year a report and a certificate which they can use to highlight their engagement to environmental protection to their customers. So this satellite monitoring, together with the possibility of activating a remote audit at any time, also without a previous alert to the company, allows to carry out very effective unannounced audits, because when we spot some movements of the vessels in a way which could imply some potential infringement, we can immediately request the company to open up to an audit. And so that's really very effective in terms of monitoring. This adds up to other initiatives to improve and enhance auditing technologies, such as the use of CCTVs. And we are requesting more and more through Dolphin Safe, as well to Friend of the Sea, by means of also systems that have been agreed and developed together with major providers of CCTV, such as SatLink. Here you see the Dolphin Safe setup to implement these systems on board. And a very good example is the project developed by the Mexican company Baja Aqua Farms. and together with also digital observer services, which allows us to monitor through their CCTVs on board compliance with the requirement of not setting nets on dolphins. So we can actually, as you can see the deployment of the purse seines and verify that no dolphins appear inside the net. After the audit and on a sample base, we also carry out DNA tests to verify that the species found in the product is actually the one that was declared during the audit. For those companies who want to go even farther, we also propose biodiversity offsets, which basically allow the company that has already demonstrated that the fishing method is sustainable, it's not impacting dolphins, for example, to offset the residual impact that the company and the production of the given product has on the marine ecosystem, because the company is still harvesting tons and tons of products and fish individuals from the sea over the year, and this has obviously a residual impact. And in order to compensate this, a bit in the similar way of how it's possible to compensate CO2 emissions or equivalent, the company is basically going to support marine protected areas with a cost of 20 euros per metric ton of the species caught. This is a value that allows the marine protected area to support the equivalent amount of metric tons of biomass. In fact, marine protected areas are those which generate the highest increase in biomass and the most measurable also increase in biomass because of their role. And this is an example of one seafood company which has done just that some years ago by supporting marine protected areas. Companies which obtain for their products the Friend of the Sea or the Friend of the Earth certification can also use other logos that Friend of the Sea and WSO has developed to highlight their compliance with part of the requirements of the wider Friend of the Sea standard. So, for example, if the company has reason to prove and highlight that it has avoided turtle bycatch or sharks bycatch and so on, or that it has complied with our fish welfare requirements, it can use these beautiful logos and highlight that part of the compliance. All these logos have some cost depending if the company is already Friend of the Sea certified or not. And for more information, of course, you can always write to us. Over the years, we have expanded the scope of the Friend of the Sea certification to award with the Friend of the Sea logo other products and services which respect the marine habitat. Here you find the list, and in particular, we have developed standards for nutraceutical products as omega-3 and collagen, which have become a very important part of our activity. And in fact, we become leader in the omega-3 supplements certification and become like the certification of reference in the omega-3 industry. We now are more and more also certifying collagen and other nutraceutical products which come from the sea. We developed standards for sunscreens which respect the marine ecosystem, and there's currently about 10 brands which have obtained this certification. Among these, also the Lidl Cien brand. We developed other standards such as those for cleaners as well as sustainable shipping and cruise lines, where we have certified two major companies over the years, Green Seas and Sea Trade. From Belgium and Netherlands, we developed standards for sustainable ports, and also several standards in the tourism arena, such as those that we developed for the certification of public aquaria. You can see the list of aquariums that has been certified so far in Brazil, Italy, UK, and Croatia. And so this way, millions of people see the Friend of the Sea logo in different situations, from the supermarkets to the pharmacies where they find omega-3 and collagen, to tourism locations. On salt, as you can see, we have also a standard for sustainable sea salt, which can be carried out in a sustainable way, and sometimes it is not. So this is, for example, we certified the market leader in Croatia, Solana Pag salt, that you can see here on this slide. And we have various standards, even one for plant-based seafood. In this context, we developed also other programs, such as the plastic offset program, which allows companies to offset their inputting of plastic in the environment by supporting for the equivalent metric tons that they are inputting in the environment without control, let's say, conservation projects which take plastic away from the environment through collection on beaches or other natural areas. And this way, the company can offset the plastic input and obtain also the Friend of the Sea plastic offset certification. In tourism, we developed several standards, as you can see, and the consumer and the general public is seeing the logo in more and more different situations, as I was saying, the supermarket, the pharmacies, and also in tourism areas, and immediately connected to good practices and our conservation projects. In fact, our foundation is supporting conservation projects worldwide. This is the map that I've shown before, and you can see that there's several projects. And basically every month there are some new projects that we are supporting worldwide, and so the number and the benefits for conservation increase more and more. We also obtained some official recognitions from the UN, the FAO, and here are some of the Friend of the Sea conservation projects worldwide. They are collected and categorized in this way, based on the group of species that we are supporting: albatross, penguins, turtles, and so on. You will have on the presentation details for each one of these projects. This is the one for protection of albatrosses. And basically, the companies which have obtained for their products the Friend of the Sea or the Friend of the Earth certification are already indirectly supporting the foundation, because at the end of the year, our WSO is supporting by means of a donation, which normally is somewhere around 30% of the profit made during the year, the foundation. And so indirectly, the companies are supporting these projects. And this is an important added value, because we know how consumers are more and more concerned about the companies not only producing and sourcing in a sustainable way, but also contributing proactively to conservation. So here are some of the beautiful projects that we are supporting. We are available to provide you with more information. And for those companies, and there are already some, which want to do more and specifically support some of the conservation projects that you see here, we have a We have, and there are also humanitarian projects such as this one in Lagos in Nigeria. We have a program with different levels of contributions, which provide, if the company is interested, also different level of visibility and joint communications and marketing activity. As you can see here, we can provide you with more detail on all this. In terms of the certification, instead, this to be totally transparent, this is the price list for the royalties, which is available on our website. And as you can see, just looking at the upper table, the price list depends on the size of the company. For small scale companies, it's even free of charge. We're talking here about the royalties, not the audit, which has a separate cost. And in line with the FAO guidelines for this type of certification, the cost of the royalty depends on the size of the company. And then there are some different costs for retailers, which we see really very much as partners, and for companies which have their own industrial or non-industrial vessels. So this is my last slide, and it refers to the benefits for a Friend of the Sea certified company. Of course, the main benefit is the third-party certification, which is our specialty, let's say. However, the company can also leverage on our involvement in conservation, as described, use the additional logos, and have a number of joint marketing and communication activities with us, from international press release to a video interview of its CEO or sustainability manager, inclusion in a webinar as case study, the restaurant project in case it sells to its product to restaurants, and also networking, consultancy, and much more. So this is all on my side. Of course, feel free to contact me if you have more requests, and I will launch some polls. The first poll is the following: do fisheries normally have a higher or lower environmental impact compared to aquaculture? What is your opinion? Fisheries have higher impact on the environment compared to aquaculture, or lower compared to aquaculture? Okay, I see some of you are still awake and answering. And of course, this is just to get also a feeling of your feelings about fisheries and aquaculture. It's not conclusive, because also our opinion is that one has to look case by case and not necessarily compare the two. And the objective of the certification is to lead producers to reduce their impact over time in the best possible way. We don't want to point the finger to anything or anybody. So the second poll question is, should fish welfare requirements be included in fisheries and aquaculture sustainability certifications? So currently some certifications don't have fish welfare requirements. In particular, there's none which have those requirements in fisheries. We can already provide them. But do you think it's important, it makes sense to include them in sustainability certifications, or it's something apart from that? You can be sustainable in aquaculture and still, let's say, not care so much in terms of the fish welfare of the fish in your aquaculture ponds. So the last poll, do you trust more audits carried out by, it's a bit of a challenge, let's say, audits carried out by AI avatars or AI in future, or human auditors? Which one you trust more? Of course, there are pros and cons, and somehow one can say, I don't trust AI because it's not human. But humans can have some limits too. They can be bribed, for example, etc., etc. or they might not have the full knowledge that AI has. So I think it's really food for thought. So before we look at the results of the polls, again, if you have any question, please feel free. Maybe I've been detailed enough and there's no question, but now I'm launching the rating of the webinar. And of course, we are always open in case you have questions or comments, to receive your comments. If you want some subjects for future webinars, feel free to contact us. And actually, in the next webinar, we will include in the polls an open text poll where you can write if you would like us to launch a webinar in the future on a specific subject. I think that would be very useful. Okay, so I see no questions. Probably it's also because of the timing. I've gone a bit over the time, and it's already 47 minutes we've been talking. I see quite a good participation today, people from different countries and different background. Having no questions today, that's quite strange, but we never had something like this. But I will close up the webinar by showing you the votes results for the first poll. Apparently, there's a neck-to-neck situation. So some are in favor. You are slightly considering fisheries having a higher impact on the environment compared to aquaculture, but that's only 5-4. So it's a very slight difference. And for the other, did I show the results? Yeah. For the other question, for the other poll, that's definitely main, very conclusive and categoric reply. So everybody believes that fish welfare requirements should be included in fisheries and aquaculture sustainability certification. And that's good. It means that we're going in the right direction. Let's look at the replies for the last poll. Only 2 are in favor of AI avatars as being better than humans, but it's 20%. And 80% of those who voted are more in favor or consider or trust more human auditors when compared to avatars. So there's still some friction to this change. Maybe the combination, next time I will also propose a combination of the two. I think one can help the other, definitely. So I see some questions, or it's just people thanking. That's really appreciated. And you will get a certificate for those of you who have managed to stay until the end. And I really appreciate your participation. Stay in touch, write to us, and let's work together for our common mission to reduce our impact, to have a better planet. Thank you all. Have a great evening, and see you soon till the next webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Help our planet with this first step. Follow Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth across our social media. Like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your follow and subscription helps us spread the sustainability message to everyone. Let's build a better world together as sustainable friends.